Salutations, hello, hi, and welcome to Basic Public Speaking. I'm Christy Thomas. I'm your professor instructor for this course, and this is a video chat kind of just discussing various tips and nuances to our course. So I'll be really in this video, we're just going to kind of discuss various ways that you can upload your speeches and just kind of reiterate some information that is found in previous videos on how the course is set up and communication. So let's discuss first when it comes to uploading speeches. I always give at least a week and a half, 2 weeks prior to the due date of a speech that I open up the module, and it's for various reasons. One, some people thrive in the nature of procrastination. Some people thrive in the energy of get the information and submit as soon as possible. But also, one of the big catalysts on why I do this is to ensure you have enough time to upload the video. What do I mean by that? In the numerous years of teaching online courses, if technology can fail us, it will fail us. So I try to give as much time as possible for you to record the video and then upload it, because sometimes it can be a little tricky when we're trying to upload videos to Blackboard, and I discovered there are various ways to do so. So sometimes it'll be easy peasy. It'll click and it'll upload. Boom, bam, done, fabulous, wonderful, magnificent. Okay. Other times, especially when we start getting into the main speeches past the first one, so like your how-to speech, the tell me a story, the final speech, all those. When the speeches become a little lengthier in time, sometimes it's just technology gets moody and doesn't want to upload the speeches quickly or efficiently. So sometimes you have to break the speeches down into multiple videos, and that's okay. That's okay. As long as you upload every part. So if it's like a 1, 2, 3, because sometimes you're going to find that maybe there's multiple videos where I do lessons. It's just easier that way. So with that being said, also I am a big fan of using tools readily available. What do I mean by this? So throughout this course, because it is a public speaking course, you will be recording yourself and uploading videos. Every speech, that is a requirement across the board. Storytelling, main speeches, whatever the case may be. You will be recording yourself and submitting a video of yourself delivering the speech. And we're only looking for about here up. It doesn't have to be a whole body shot. That is not a requirement. I'm mainly wanting to see your face. So make sure you're in good lighting and all those good things. But when I say tools and tips available, if you have a larger, lengthier video, there are apps and sites that you can upload to edit your video, and you can do it that way. You can also record your video on social media and provide the link. For the purpose of this course, I record my videos, upload them to Blackboard, and then share the Blackboard, upload them to YouTube, and share the YouTube link to Blackboard, so that all you have to do is click and it sends you directly there. And it's a pretty safe place because it also has closed captioning if need be, if so needed for your speech or in general. So that's an option too. So you can use social media to record your videos, and just, if you go that route, just click the link and share the link with me. Okay, now when all else fails and you cannot get it uploaded to Blackboard, and sometimes that happens, believe me, you could be trying for days at a time. You have the option to also email me the speech itself, but I highly suggest that you don't wait till the last minute to try to upload your speech to Blackboard, because that is generally when it's going to fail you. So kind of be aware if you're having issues. And also too, sometimes it does take a long time, because sometimes your internet connection may be iffy or spotty, or maybe there's a lot of folks on it, especially when you're in a school situation. If there's a lot of folks on it, that can bog down the system. So if you're having issues and have been trying, again, reach out with an email, be like, hey, Sorry, I'm outside. My cat's out here. He needed to be in the video as well. Just shoot me an email letting me know. I'm working on it. Be aware. And then if you were still having issues after trying to use, you know, if you broke the video down, if you've used various apps, if you've used an editing tool and you try to, reach out to me and we will figure this out together. I will not leave you high and dry, so to speak. Terrible saying, but it's the first one that came to my mind. So those are the various ways that you can use technology and tools and apps readily available to help with the submission of your speech videos. I also say use tools and apps available because it becomes handy a little later on when we start doing outlines and MLA citation. Outlines, there are going to be several links on Blackboard in the hello video, well, the welcome module, excuse me, and the outline organization module. There's an actual template to a basic student outline. Please, that is available to you to use. That's just where you pull up the Word document, save it to your computer, and you plug and chug the information. Because when outlines are due, and those are due with main speech 2, 3, and 4, so 3 of the speeches that you do in this course will require an outline. Working outlines are pretty straightforward. You know, they're usually 1 to 2 sentences. Your points are just 1 to 2 sentences. It's nothing chaotic. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing long, which we discuss in depth in the organization outlining section of this course. I am not requiring nor asking for a transcript. A transcript is a word-for-word documentation of what you're submitting. I will never ask you for a transcript in this course of your speech. That's not what I'm asking. So just be kind of aware. And again, we talk about that a little bit. Well, we do talk about more in depth in the organization outlining section. So when I say use tools and apps, when it comes to MLA citation, there are apps and there are websites that you can plug and chug your information. You put your information and it creates the citation for you, and then all you have to do is copy and paste it and tack it onto the bottom of your outline. The two final main speeches, so main speech 3, tell me a story, and the final persuasive speech, both require in-speech citations, so they require an MLA citation form, or an outline or a works cited. And works cited, I ask for MLA citation. Not APA, not Chicago, MLA. So, use what's available. Plug and chug your information. I am a big fan of using tools readily available to make life easier and less complicated. So, I provide an outline that you can use. You don't have to. You can create your own outline. I'm not a stickler on that as long as an outline is submitted. And when it comes to main speech 2, 3, and 4, so the how-to informative speech, the tell me a story, informative / celebratory, and the final persuasive speech, you will have an outline due. In those modules, you're going to see 2 links. One link is to submit the final version of the speech video you recorded, and then there's going to be a link for the outline. This just makes it easier, so you're not having to try to upload all this information into one area, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Again, if technology can fail us, it will fail us. So I'm just trying to make it a little less complicated on everyone involved. So those are different ways to upload videos and some tips and tricks when it comes to doing outlines and the works cited down the road. And again, I just want to reiterate a few things that we talked about in a few other videos, kind of just how the course is set up and what to expect communication-wise from me. So when it comes to the weekly lessons that we're going through, those are opened up in order as they appear on the weekly calendar. So they will be, the oldest will be at the top, and as we go through this schedule, the calendar, I will open them up. So the very last thing will be just additional information because I open that up too randomly, but it'll be the last few lessons that we go through. So it's in chronological order of the weekly calendar. Now when it comes to assignments, aka your speeches, your speech modules, those will be above the lesson modules, and the way those will appear is that it'll be newest to oldest. So, you know, when you first get on there, you're going to see the check-in discussion, the canons, rhetoric, and the main speech 1 modules. Those are just all open ready to go from the moment you click on the Blackboard. Now, as we start adding speech modules, the main speech introduction module will be at the bottom, and then the next speech, you know, vice versa. So when it's all said and done by the end of the course, it's going to be after all the course information and we get to to the speech modules, it's going to be the newest, which would be the final persuasive speech, to the oldest, which at that point would be the first main speech, which is your introduction speech. So, and then underneath those are all your lesson modules. But I said that a couple times. Again, I just really like to reiterate information to make it as clear as possible. We discussed speech modules are opened up in the week events. When it comes to course communication, again, I will open the modules weekly, and there's going to be a few times I'm going to open a few weeks at a time, just because you may not have something due particularly that week. You know, you will not have something due every week. You will the first few weeks, of course, but as the course continues, it's not going to be a weekly thing. So sometimes lessons, there may be 2 weeks worth of lessons opened up. No biggie. Once a lesson module is open, it remains open throughout the entirety of this course for your viewing pleasure. Weekly videos I post, and that's pretty straightforward. They're posted, and everything, I always like to say by noon on Mondays, but it's generally open before noon on Mondays, just for ease of my mind. That's just who I am. But I always say noon in case Mondays are chaotic, and we all know Mondays can be chaotic. Again, I have 3 kids that I have to get ready for school, so Mondays can be extremely chaotic. On Mondays, the weekly lessons are open, and I also send out emails and announcements. The emails and announcements pop up on Blackboard when you first open. The emails are sent to your KCTCS or your ACTC email, and that's pretty straightforward. So a lot of it's the same information. I just may go into more detail on something or not. But it lets you know what we're looking at the week. So, hey, check out this module. And I might give like a preview snippet of what the information is about in said module. But you have to check out the module for details. A little preview, if you would, is in the emails and announcements and the weekly video. Then I'll also discuss if you have something due. I will always discuss something that's due. If it's due that week, if it's due in a few weeks, I just kind of go over what we're looking at, tell you where you can locate the details, and every speech module has a Word document and a video chat discussing description and technical requirements for the speech itself, along with the links to upload your final versions of the speech and an outline if so needed. I say description and requirements. You'll always get a description, and I just kind of go into details and I give examples, and all that happens in the videos. Technical requirements are different when it comes to main speeches. Your first main speech, there are no technical requirements. This is just, we're getting our toes wet. Well, you're getting your toes wet. Just an introduction speech. There are 5 main speaking points, and that is, you can find details for that in the introduction main speech 1 module, or you can also find a snippet preview in the welcome module under the Word document or video chat for main speeches. Your main speech 2 has a different technical requirement than any other speech. Same with 3 and 4. You know, we are learning about these things throughout this course, so we apply them to our speeches as need be. But they won't stay the same. Like main speech 2, you have a requirement is a visual aid. We go into depth in that with the visual aid module. We start introducing citations in main speech 3 and then build off that. But there is only one speech, and that's your second main speech, that requires a visual aid. And when it comes to storytelling speeches, there are no real technical requirements. There's not even time limits. These speeches are there to help you find your online speaking voice and kind of find your rhythm and your flow. So that's why there's such large umbrella topics when it comes to storytelling. It's not specific. It's not like this has to be a how-to or these are the 5 points that you hit. It's, this is your topic. Have fun. You know, so you can be as creative as you want. Give it whatever flair you so think it deserves. All that comes in handy. So again, kind of just to reiterate all that. And that was a lot of stuff I just went over. So let's just kind of reiterate that little bundle of fun. Lesson modules are opened up in the order upon they are seen in the weekly calendar. Speech modules are above your lesson modules, and those will be opened up and appear in order from newest to oldest. Weekly communication happens on Mondays. No later than noon on Mondays, you will have announcements, emails, a weekly video, and whatever's going on that week will be open and ready to go. Weekly videos don't stay up every single week. The first few weeks, the first few videos will remain open. I will close them after a hot second, and that will also come into play toward the end of the semester. I'll have multiple videos or information and dates. So like I'll start making clump videos, just reiterating due dates and what's expected and what's anticipated for the course. Because again, once we come back from a break, it feels like everything goes by super quick. So lessons are open in order from newest to oldest. That's not lessons, that's speeches. Lessons are open in the order that they appear on the weekly schedule. All information is open by noon on Mondays. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. Email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Sometimes it's pretty quick. Sometimes it might take a second because I'm not easily accessible to my email or to the ability to answer quickly. Or if it has to do with something that I need my books or computer for, sometimes you might get a response, hey, I got your email, and I'll check into it further when I get to my computer or get to where I can. But again, pretty straightforward. And there is information listed on how to get a hold of me via email and whatnot. And yeah, so let me make sure we went over. All right. Again, when it comes to speech modules and speeches themselves, this is a public speaking course. You must record yourself giving a speech and upload the final version that you're happy with to Blackboard. I give adequate time for you to start that process. So, and don't be afraid to use tools available to you. If you upload to social media or some social platform, just provide the link of the final version of the video. If you're having issues with uploading, please email me. Don't wait till the last minute. Almost everything is due on a Friday at 5. There's a few speeches at the very end of the semester not due on a Friday, and it says on there reminding you that these are not due. Give yourself adequate time. And as we get closer to the end of the semester with the final speech in life, I have a cutoff date in this course in December that I will not accept anything past that cutoff date. No questions, ifs, ands, or buts. That's why at the end of the semester, everything's opened up pretty far in advance for you to work at your pace that you also choose, but it's giving you enough time, plenty of adequate time to get everything uploaded and submitted without issues. So with that being said, really make sure you're giving yourself times. And these first few weeks, the way I have everything set up is that the first 3 weeks of the course is already opened and ready to go. And that way we can kind of just find our flow a lot easier. You know, I don't know if this is your first time taking an online course or if you are a pro at online courses, and everybody sets their course up completely different. But, you know, it is set up to make things accessible and easy to find. And again, I'm a big fan of information, so I will probably repeat information until you're like, can you please stop? We talked about the beginning of the week communication. Sometimes there will be emails, announcements on Fridays that I will just remind you, hey, you have something due this evening. Or, hey, just want you to, you know, be aware that this is due or this is coming up in a week. So if you haven't looked into this module, check out this module. And sometimes if something comes up that, just a reminder, you may get a random email or announcement throughout the week. Just so you know, I am a big fan of communication. So when something comes up, I will make you aware. The same way, the weekly calendar schedule that I created is tentative. There's chances that things may change. Not so much the lessons, but due dates. But I will never make a due date before it is posted on the weekly calendar. Sometimes I might extend a due date, and I will always let you know, be like, oh, well, hey, I originally had this due on a Friday, but I'm going to extend it for a few days, and now it's not due until the following Wednesday. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, these are just various tips and information for this course and uploading speeches. And again, just reiteration on how the course is set up and how communication with the course is set up. If you have any questions or concerns or just need to chat, please email me and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And I hope that you have an amazing day and a fabulous week. Thanks so much. Bye.